Hello and welcome to Hank Games without Hank, our road trip as the Swoodilypoopers continues, and it is raining in England, but as it is below freezing, that rain is coming down as snow. Nonetheless, the heroic Swoodilypoopers are mostly in short sleeves because we are strong, tough men. We've got a bit of a B squad out there today, to be honest. We do have other John Green, but, we've got some lesser-known players as well, and Voluptuous Pericard is starting. A lot of guys are really tired. We're playing Charlton Athletic today. We are in white, a color of surrender, but today, a color of victory. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my favorite road trips. Really just two favorite road trips. The best two road trips I ever went on. I've been fortunate, particularly when I was in high school and college, to go on a lot of road trips, a lot of sort of poorly planned, road trips that turned out to be really, really fun. The great thing about a great road trip is that if it's even a little bit about the destination, the road trip is part of the road trip is not going to be that fun because you're always going to be conscious of the destination and the need to get there and the time at which you have to get there and et cetera, et cetera. There's something hugely liberating about not needing to be anywhere, about not having a destination, and about not having a time of arrival. Particularly for me, because I'm a very punctual person, and I'm a little bit obsessed with punctuality and making sure that I'm not late. And look at other John Green. Voluptuous Pericard can't finish. So road trips were always a big relief to me in some ways. And also, it's a thing that becomes impossible in adulthood, to be honest with you, because in adulthood, like, you have kids and, spontaneity takes a very different form, spontaneity, when even if you have a dog, you can't be fully spontaneous, But I remember, that feeling of everything is available to you is a pretty magical feeling, made possible by cars. And I remember when I first met Sarah, I said to her, I remember I was talking about how, I felt like I was already pretty old and how I wasn't as, I wasn't able to extemporize like I was when I was a kid or when I was in college. And Sarah said to me, she said, like, what? Like, you don't go on road trips anymore? And I was like, yeah, I don't go on road trips with, like, 0 minutes of planning, I don't go on a road trip that, we don't even have toothbrushes. These days I always stop and get my toothbrush. And we were, like, right outside her apartment building. And Sarah said, well, why don't we just like, go to Michigan tonight? And we didn't in the end because I don't have a toothbrush and I don't know, I got work tomorrow. But the point is that she called my bluff. And that was one of the moments when I knew I really liked Sarah because she was obviously, she was spontaneous, or like she was capable of that sort of imaginative spontaneity that I really liked in people. So anyway, my greatest road trip probably was with my college girlfriend and I went on a road trip. Voluptuous Pericard goal. Oh, it's beautiful. And then other John Green just wraps him around from behind and pulls him in. Look at that Voluptuous Pericard with a great, great goal. I love it. Oh, let's see it one more time. Other John Green to Voluptuous Pericard, finisher. Really proud of Voluptuous today. Alice not in the audience today as it's an away game and she has a family and it's a school night. But we know that they're watching at home. Proud of their dad. Great stuff. And then Fat Lucas intimidates and makes Benson miss. All right. So when I was in the year after I graduated from college, my college girlfriend and I went on a road trip that was really wonderful. We went to see lots of different roadside attractions, and we met lots of different people. We met a lot of people. Oh, they're John Green with a goal out of nothing. And then they're just rolling around on the snow like a couple of kids just experiencing pure, raw, unadulterated joy. I love it. Just like that, 34 minutes in, we're 2-0 up on Charlton Athletic, a former Premier League side, I'll have you know. Although, to be fair, so are Swindon Town. We were in the Premier League 1992, 1993, for those of you who don't recall. The question is, will we go back? Voluptuous Pericard breakaway. Wow. All of a sudden, we are just beating the living crap out of Charlton Athletic. And he finishes because he's a finisher. Yes. Voluptuous Pericard hugs other John Green. There's a little bit of between the knees action, and then other John Green points at the goal, at which Voluptuous Pericard scores to remind him of what just happened. So we saw all kinds of roadside attractions. Like we saw the three of the competing world's largest balls of twine. For those of you who aren't American, Americans are obsessed with the world's largest ball of blank. Popcorn, twine, paint, stamps, whatever. And, whoosh, kabajka. Sorry, I spent all my time talking to a baby. So, we saw three of the competing world's largest balls of twine. We saw the world's largest ball of paint. We saw the world's largest ball of stamps in Omaha, Nebraska. We saw Mount Rushmore. We saw like all kinds of famous like roadside attraction stuff. All kinds of stuff that you might find in Neil Gaiman, the Neil Gaiman novel American Gods. It was just a really fun, magical 2 weeks on the road together, staying in like really cheap hotels. $30 a night hotels that we find on the road. This was in the days before the internet, like before the mobile internet, so you couldn't like very well look up what where you were going to stay. And it was like in retrospect, it was like gross and not something I would enjoy at all. And I'm not just saying that. Like I would not have fun if you made me go on that trip tomorrow, and I would be like, why am I looking at this not even particularly giant ball of paint? This is a terrible, terrible waste of my time, and I should be at home playing Swoodilypoopers for my fans. And I'd rather just be relaxing at home. I'd rather be hanging out with my kid. I'd rather be, like having a nice dinner with my wife. I have no desire to be doing these things. I don't want to be staying at these terrible hotels when I have such a nice bed at home, and et cetera, But at the time, it was so liberating and so freeing, and it was one of those, you felt the sovereignty of yourself. You felt your ability to do what you wanted when you wanted, which is a really magical feeling. And you realize that you don't, Voluptuous Pericard to other John Green, look at that. And then other John Green immediately tracks down Voluptuous Pericard and gives him a big hug to thank him for that beautiful setup. Other John Green fast becoming the greatest player in the history of the N-Power Championship. I mean, he might have the scoring title for all time. So anyway, there was that trip, and then when I was in college, I went on a number of really like totally random, unplanned road trips that were super fun. But probably the most fun was the one I went with my friend Kathy Wingeter and Ransom Riggs, now, of course, New York Times best-selling author of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Ransom Riggs. He and I and Kathy went to the Grand Canyon together. And there's actually a video of some of the footage from the Grand Canyon. It's mostly just me saying, would you look at that? That's so beautiful. For the love of God, oh my God, it's so beautiful. In the way I had when I was in college. But, yeah. Oh no. We just gave up a goal. We gave up a goal to Kyuga. Fat Lucas, let's face it, Fat Lucas did not want to get down because it's snowing, and he just didn't want to jump down on frozen ground. I can't really blame him. We're up 4-0. What's the difference between 4-0 and 4-1, So Fat Lucas there giving up a goal because to protect his body, and I think it was the right decision. Anyway, so we went to the Grand Canyon, and we went to the Grand Canyon from Gambier, Ohio. It was a long drive. We hadn't planned it out, really. We had a really great time, and the Grand Canyon was more beautiful than I anticipated, far more beautiful than I anticipated, actually. I mean, it was sort of, yeah. I remember when we first got there, and I was like, my first thought was, yeah, that's like a really big canyon, like a legit grand canyon. But the more time we spent there, the more it seemed almost like transcendentally grand. It was, oh no, we might give up a second goal. Nope, Fat Lucas comes through brilliantly. Fat Lucas. Sometimes I feel like his head's not in the game. So anyway, that trip was the first time I went on a long road trip, a long way from home, where I kind of had to I had Kathy and Randy, but I kind of had to take care of myself a little bit. That was when I started to feel like I could take care of myself. which is, of course, a really great feeling. Voluptuous Pericard, goal. Wow, great day for Voluptuous Pericard. Just a really great day. Really proud of him and the whole team. I mean, we're just dominating. We're up 5-1, and it's been a relatively easy 5-1, and we've done it without our best players. We don't have one-size-fits-all in the back. He's taking a rest day. We don't have Ball John Green, so that's great. This is a great result for us. I'll tell you about a couple other road trips that I went on that were pretty fun. I went on a road trip of course, I went on a road trip to Alaska. I've already told you about that. And that wasn't, it was, actually, the road trip was fun. It was everything that came afterward that was so miserable. Because everything that came afterward was all, like getting dumped and having to live in Alaska, which is this like technically beautiful place where a lot of unbeautiful things were happening to me. And the people were strange, and I was not emotionally mature enough to deal with all of it, and so there was a lot going on there. But the trip to Alaska was really beautiful. And if you never, I've been really lucky to be able to go places like the Yukon Territory, which is about it's real wilderness, which is increasingly rare. Voluptuous Pericard with a hat trick. Really? Seriously, Voluptuous Pericard? You got a hat trick, and you did it away from home. Alice can't even see you, but you know that she's screaming at the TV right now. She's so psyched. He's a finisher. Maybe I should play Voluptuous Pericard more often. Maybe Ball John Green, needs to take a seat, because right now Voluptuous Pericard is, frankly, playing better than Ball John Green. Almost one of those funny goals, but no, it's not. But that trip to Alaska was great just because of how beautiful the Yukon Territory is. Alaska is beautiful too, but the Yukon Territory is just, you can go a couple hundred miles without seeing anything. Without seeing a gas station, without seeing a house, without, and we camped a lot. And so if you get a mile off the road, you're just in, you don't have to think about human beings. You don't see anybody. We just gave up another goal. Fat Lucas not having his best day, but, it doesn't really matter because we've scored 6. So I'd like to score 7, just, it's a lucky number, and might bode well for our ability to get to the Premier League. We are, by the way, still not in a position to get back to the Premier League. We need, we may need to win out, which hopefully just means me playing all the games instead of simming them, which is that's a big mistake. I lose 100% of the games that I simulate. Voluptuous Pericard. Oh, he couldn't break free. Oh, that was so close. So we have a pretty good chance, though, of going to the Premier League, although I'm a little worried that when we go to the Premier League, we will win 0 games. Voluptuous Pericard trying for a 4th. Oh, the angle closed down on him. This is, but you've got to, I don't know. Let me know in comments if you think I should be starting Voluptuous Pericard more often, or if you think Ball John Green remains the key to our success as Swoodilypoopers, because I was really impressed with Voluptuous Pericard's play there. So let me know what you think. Wow, Seville's hair has gotten a little long, almost mullety. That's worrisome. Thanks for watching, and best wishes.